If you're ever riding down South Main Street and you see, look to your left and see this over here, you'll know that you're looking at what was Greensburg's first glass plant. There was once glass made here. I'll give you a better view of this from down on Route 30, the bypass. You're on the bypass right now, and you're looking over at, this is the glass plant here. It was a glass plant. It's now called Scott Electric. You're looking from Route 30, and this is the 5-Star Trail and the old Southwest branch. You see it gets a little rusty once in a while. It is still used somewhat. This area in here was once called Hempfield Foundaries. I went down there to take a picture of it one day, and there was a crew on the field there. They had just ripped the place apart. There was almost nothing left, and I didn't get a photograph that day. Right across the tracks from the glass plant was Greensburg's first significant coal mine. It was eventually called Keystone #1, and you might have described it as a devastated industrial landscape if you ever saw it then. This is Highland Avenue coming down, and right here where the tracks go out to the loading tipple, this is now called Rue Street. And this is just to give you a little bit of contemporary imagery. This is Route 30. This is where Greensburg's first significant coal mine was. This was Hempfield Foundries. And right here is the glass plant that I mentioned. This is 1901. It's a lithograph by T.M. Fowler. These are the tracks of the Southwest branch coming down. This was old Kelly and Jones, which became Walworth. The glass plant, the mine, and this is the young town of South Greensburg springing up, which was often referred to as Huff or Huff Town. And this is the guy that it was named for, George Franklin Huff. An interesting character. You could write a book about him. He is responsible for a lot of the industrial development that happened in the area, and probably not one of the more kinder or gentler people that you'd want to run into. He eventually became a United States congressman. Now, this is 1903. This is the Southwest branch, Hempfield Foundries. This was the glass plant. It was then called it would be called a pot furnace. I'll show you a picture of what a pot furnace is in a minute. The mine was over on this side of the tracks. These were some attendant structures of the mine. These were the steam boilers and an engine house where they were making electricity for the mine equipment. This is something that still remains from the mine, one of the few things. You've probably seen this going down Highland Avenue. That's one of the company houses. And when the mine went on strike in 1910, the poor people living there and all the company houses were thrown out. And they went down and lived along Slate Run. Speaking about slate and slag, this is the slag pile from the mine, and it's still there. Okay. We're looking at the glass plant, Hempfield Foundry. The mine is over on this side. This is the loading tipple. And this strange conical looking stack is the stack of a pot furnace. That's a pot furnace once the building has been burned down around it. This is out of Grapeville now. Pot furnaces were useful for making a number of different batches. This one had about 16 crucibles or pots around the base of the structure, and each one could make a different kind of glass if you're into making various kinds of decorative glasswork. This is that structure now, the glass plant. It is no longer a glass plant. It's called Scott Electric. And this has replaced the original old structure, which is, gone long ago. Some of this brick buildings back here still remain from the original structure. This is right across the road. This is the mine. This is Greensburg, or Keystone number 1. The loading platform coming out to load things. This is the southwest branch. This was a railroad siding, and this is up here we know as Highland Avenue, and it was then called Mount Pleasant Street. This was the boiler house, and this was the engine house where they were making electricity and whatever else they needed for the mine. And this is that area right now. It's amazing how well they've cleaned it up. This is Rue Street. It was right here that the tipple was coming out, the loading tipple. And this is Highland Avenue. Over here you can see just the stack and the ventilators of the glass plant. Here we have another view, 1915, the glass plant across the street. By that time it no longer had the pot furnace. This was one of the tank furnaces. Here's the loading tipple, Highland Avenue. And this was the mine up here. We're looking at now another shot from 1915. I interposed where Route 30 goes across. This was the foundry, Hempfield Foundry. And this was the brickworks. We're not going to see this until next time, but I just wanted to give a little look at it here. These were the company houses. These still exist. They're still there beside Route 30. And this is the view from up in the air. This is where the mine was, Greensburg's first significant mine. This was Hempfield Foundries. This is now Scott Electric. It was the glass plant. And this is what we saw in the last little production. This is where gas was being made from coal. And you can see now how easy it was to bring coal from the mine over to the gas production plant. And that's about all for this time. We're going to call it quits now. Say so long, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.